In today's masterclass, we will focus on mastering professional etiquette in the age of AI, led by Elvina Pinto. It's packed with real examples, smart tips, and fresh insights on how to stay professional and human while using AI tools. Elvina Relon Pinto, an alumni of Cambridge University of Sustainable Leadership, is a certified professional master trainer, rule the room, NLP practitioner, and life coach. An image and style consultant, over 16 years of experience, specialized in train the trainer, soft skill, accent neutralization, corporate skills, English language training, to name a few. She's passionate about empowering individuals to unlock their true potentials and achieve their goals. Thank you, ma'am, for joining today. And this topic is very interesting. In fact, it talks about, in the age of AI, it talks about, mastering the professional etiquettes. So when we are doing this, when we are attending an online session or maybe an online meeting, what are the important factors that we need to take care of? And maybe you can brief onto these topics and take this masterclass forward and start this, in fact.
Definitely, Sheetal. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. And it's a pleasure being here and speaking about something that is really close to my heart, that is how to master professional etiquette in today's digital world. Because everything is evolving at a very fast pace, and everyone is using artificial intelligence, of course. However, the essence is that human connection and that human touch that always remains. But somewhere down the line, we forget. So, this masterclass pertains to getting the human side of each one of you, as well as implementing it with that artificial intelligence to create that powerful impact for great transformations.
Yes. So before we begin, ma'am, I just wanted to tell the audience that, if you have any questions or any inputs that you would like to give us, we would welcome those, in fact, after the session. So last 10 minutes will be dedicated for our question answer session. And these questions can be then addressed by Elvina ma'am as well. So here we are. We can just begin the session now.
All right. So, I'll share my screen
Yes.
to share a presentation with each one of you. Give me a second, please. Can everyone see it? Sheetal, can you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. So, formally, guys, welcome to today's masterclass where we would be mastering professional etiquette in the age of artificial intelligence. Now, this session is designed to help each one of you elevate your presence in today's landscape, where you need to understand the evolving expectations of professional behavior and how technology, especially artificial intelligence and its tools, can help you enhance your communication, collaboration, and credibility. I call them the 3 C's, which you want to make note of. As we move on into an incredible digital automated world, human connection remains our strongest asset. And that is something that we need to remember at all times. So, in today's webinar, whether you're just starting your career or you are managing teams, one truth that remains universal for each one of us is how you present yourself, how you interact with others, and that directly, somewhere down the line, influences your professional success. So, today I'm going to help you explore why etiquette matters and how artificial intelligence can support you. However, it is not going to replace your professionalism, and it is going to leave you with real life strategies that is going to help you stand out in every interaction. So let's begin. So first things first, when I speak to someone of what is etiquette, they tell me, oh, Elvina, don't teach us manners at this age. We've learned enough in childhood. But trust me, guys, etiquette is not just manners. It is much more than that. It goes beyond saying those two beautiful words of please and thank you. It is about cultivating a respectful, effective, and considerate behavior in the workspace. From how you communicate to how you show up in meetings, each and every aspect of you as an individual reflects your presence, it reflects your etiquette, let alone whether it is online or in person. These behaviors, my friends, forms the foundation, and that foundation of your professional reputation. Now, in the digital age, etiquette is also needed because if we use etiquette with artificial intelligence, it just elevates the entire ball game. It elevates the ball game how? By enhancing your empathy and clarity. However, we should remember that we are not replacing these skills. We are enhancing them. After understanding what professional etiquette is and how do we define it, let's move on to the need for it. Now, in a world full of automation, it's still that behavior, that is your behavior, my behavior, that develops that trust and credibility. Because 85% of hiring managers equal that etiquette to technical skills. And this was a study that was conducted by LinkedIn in 2023. So technical knowledge is extremely important. Soft skills are extremely important. However, etiquette also plays a crucial role. Second, we have etiquette helps build that credibility. Why so? Because people trust you. When people trust you, you develop better relationships. When you have better relationships, the collaboration works wonders. So collaborate with those who show respect and reliability. And thirdly, in remote or hybrid working environments, professional behavior, my friends, becomes even more visible, and it is extremely essential. Now, remember that this is not a soft skills. However, it is one of the core competencies for your professional success. Now, let's look at why does it matter and why is Elvina talking about it so much? It matters because that is your ROI for success. How? You build better relationships, and that is your currency for success. Secondly, you are more likely to be seen as a leader. When you are seen as a leader, climbing that corporate ladder becomes very easy for career growth. Third, we have that communication. Now, communication is very, very important because when you show it with this etiquette, you are sharper, more empathetic, and you're less likely to create that chaos and confusion as well as those misunderstandings that happen at work. And lastly, it is very, very important because it boosts your confidence, because you know that you are showing up in your best self. And when you show up in your best self, my friends, nothing can hold you back. AI tools over here are there. They are there to support that process. What process? The process of refining things and delivering things. However, always remember the heart of connection must come only from each one of you. So as we move on, let's see how we can combine artificial intelligence and etiquette, which becomes a powerful combination. Now, over here, I'm not telling you to use artificial intelligence to amplify that impact. Yes, we are amplifying that impact. However, that intent, that connection, that authenticity always remains with you. So first up, when you want to do polish writing, if you want to write an email, you want to write scripts, you want to write content, the best two tools to use is Grammarly and ChatGPT, because this is going to help you draft those complex resources and emails into simpler text, as well as it will help you polish your emails. Grammarly, my friends, is an app that helps you correct English language. So it will help you drafting things easier. And of course, all of us know ChatGPT. It's been around for a long while now. So that will help you structure. Yes, once you use it regularly, you train the model to think as per you. So it is automatically going to help where it comes to drafting. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. Secondly, we have meeting support. For meeting support, what happens is sometimes most of us get lost in a conference, in a boardroom meeting where we are busy writing our notes. Now, this is a fact that all human beings forget. We cannot remember everything at every time. However, if we use Otter.ai, this will help you transcribe your meetings. So why is it an added advantage over here? Because you can give your full focus and your attention to listen to what is actually happening than waste your time making those notes, because the app makes the notes for you. Third, we have personalized communication. Now, Crystal Knows, again, is an application that will help you tailor your message to the recipient's needs. That is the recipient's writing style. So if I receive a very professional email and if I use Crystal Knows, what happens is it will analyze the tone and write a reply to the email in a similar tone. But remember, my friends, artificial intelligence helps you communicate more effectively and professionally. But what makes it human is only you. So you want to start with that artificial intelligence or any application that we are using, whether it is Grammarly, ChatGPT, Claude AI, DeepSeek, Otter AI, Crystal Knows. The market is full of different apps, but you need to begin with it. However, you have to finish it with your authenticity. All right, I hope things are clear till here. Let's move on. So when we master essential skills for professional etiquette, it is categorized into 4 broad categories. The categories are communication, virtual meetings, networking, and time management. Now, what happens in communication is you want to always remember that communication is not only about speaking, it is your verbal, non-verbal cues, as well as your written script. So when we speak about communication, especially where writing is concerned, you want to be clear, you want to be concise, as well as you want to be courteous. You have to be polite in your emails and show respect. AI can help you draft it, no doubt about that. But your tone is the secret sauce for success. Second, we have virtual meetings. Now, most of the time in virtual meetings, we either put our camera off because we are not dressed well, or we are very conscious of that little frame over there that's called the camera. So don't let that screen make you forget who you are. Don't let that screen take an impact on that professionalism. You want to dress well. You want to stay focused and contribute to every interaction with purpose. Now, I have a very great example, and I'm sure some of you must have faced it. I never do it, but this is what I have seen. Whenever we are in a rush or in a hurry for any online meeting, especially if we are working from home, what we do is we just get up 5 minutes before the meeting, we wear a shirt, we're wearing shorts down, we're in chappals, we just brush our hair and we sit in front of the screen. I'm sure we've all gone through that phase. Not me, guys, because I can't be that. However, this is the scenario that people take for advantage, and this happens. However, what happens is, let me tell you, in virtual meetings, as well as when we speak about communication, the non-verbal aspect of it, first of all, you are not professional. Secondly, you are half dressed. And third, your confidence is not top-notch. Why? Because your confidence gets that boost, gets that elevated lift when you dress professionally. And trust me, even if you wear those shoes at home for that professional meeting, it speaks volumes in your body language. It speaks volumes in your non-verbal cues and your confidence. And this makes you shine. Third, we have networking. Now, we all say that networking is very important. However, ask yourself, how many times do you send a request on LinkedIn with a personalized message? And even if you do so, how many times or how often do you follow up? How far do you go to reach out and build that connection? What we do is we try to connect on LinkedIn to get something from there. However, you need to begin by building relationships. Things happen at the right time when they are supposed to be and when they are meant to be. However, that follow-up is extremely, extremely important. And lastly, we have time management. All of us say we don't have time. But do you realize that all of us only have 24 hours in a day? In that, it is 8 hours of work, 8 hours of play, and 8 hours of sleep. How many of us actually do justice to this 24 hours? Ask yourself, because you need to respect your time as well as the other person's time. And there are tools like Google Calendar helps you be punctual. It helps you to turn up and show up at the right time if you set a right reminder. And this speaks volumes about you, my friends. Let me give you an interesting case study. So if you look at the right-hand side, we have two formats of emails over here, okay? Before and after. So this is a real story that I'm sharing with you of a mid-level manager who realized that her emails were very long, lengthy, and confusing. That is the before script which we have on the screen. Now, she used artificial intelligence as a tool to analyze and simplify her tone and structure. What happened in return? 30% better response rate, which we all want. Improved team dynamics. That is something that we want again. And also the recognition of her clarity. Now, that is important because whenever you write anything, it is very important to have short paragraphs, to have bullet points, to address the receiver, the sender, have a clear subject line. Okay? Because this is the key takeaway that I have for you over here is that these small changes that we make in our daily life, which is supported by these smart tools, helps you make big shifts. And those big shifts in how you are perceived and in your overall performance. Now, let me share something which is a live example in front of each one of us. 99% of us use ChatGPT. We write, just draft an email on so-and-so topic for so-and-so sender, and or we say reply. ChatGPT gives you a format of that email. How many of us proofread? I have received emails with the semicolon and the boxes, the inverted commas, and says, add your number, add your recipient. What have we done? Have we used that tool smartly? No. We've taken that tool for granted. And we've taken that tool for granted such that we have not proofread. What does it say about the sender? Is it creating a positive impression? Is it showing that professionalism? You also think that the person hasn't read. So this is something that you need to ponder over. Now, let me give you 10 workplace etiquette tips that are very, very essential for each one of you to succeed over this career path. Now, firstly, I said that etiquette is that unspoken golden rule, right? To be successful, as well as to create that first impression. It can be a solid first impression that you can create by proper etiquettes. The way you carry yourself, your professionalism, and it also states your personal brand, whether you are serious or you're not serious, whether the attitude is casual, and how much of business do you mean? This is what people perceive, my friends, even before you say a word. So let's go on to the 10 workplace etiquette tips. Firstly, very, very important, be on time. Whether it is an interview or it is a meeting, setting standards for yourself by being on time shows that you are serious about your work. I suggest always be 10 minutes early. Okay, so you have that 10-minute buffer time if you have traffic, if you're stuck in the elevator, there is too much rush elsewhere, wherever you are going. So 10 minutes buffer time is a must-have that each one of you should have as professionals. Second, always greet everyone, whether it is the receptionist, whether in a meeting, entering office, or even if you meet someone new. What is the harm in greeting them by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how are you? What happens is they may not be in a good mood, they may have a bad day, but when you greet them, what happens is you make them feel comfortable. You make them forget for a minute when they are answering you that they have underlying problems as well. So it is that warm smile and that greeting with that eye contact that is going to set you apart. Third, we have basic manners. Now, people think that manners is only about saying please and thank you. No, my friends, it is how you conduct yourself, because some people who you meet professionally, you'll say, wow, there's something different about that individual. Why is that? Because they are using their manners to their strength to be professional. Those basic manners. Follow those rules. Let me give you three very, very common examples. First up, waiting for the elevator. What happens is when we are in a rush to go to work because we are not on time, we haven't planned our time well, when the elevator comes down to the ground floor, even before people are exiting, we try to push our way in. What are we doing? You wait, let people come out of the elevator and then you go in. That shows that you are respecting the shared space. Second, we have the escalator. Escalators are there at the airports, malls, even in offices. Of course, escalators are there. What do? We walk on the escalator and we stand in the center. No, my friends, improper etiquette. What I want you to do is when you are on the escalator, you stand to the right. So if anyone is in a rush and they want to go forward, they can climb up towards the left and walk. They don't have to tell you, excuse me, and then you start turning around and waiting, oh, sorry, and then you move. This is basic observation. This is the basics of manners that we can implement. And lastly, is a very, very common factor that I have seen is while opening the door. I'm not telling you to open the door for a woman, or I'm not telling you to open the door for someone. All I'm telling you to do is when you open the door, be mindful of the person behind you. Is there anybody behind you? Otherwise, what happens is you're slamming the door on their face. So what we do is we just walk in the door, hold the door, wait, let the other person hold the door, and then you can leave the door. So those are the three very essential common mistakes that people make where etiquette is concerned, especially at work. Third, we have fourth, we have say please and thank you. Now, think of it as a favor or acknowledgement, my friends. When you ask a favor from somebody, acknowledge it. Say thank you. In return, what happens? The person feels valued. They feel motivated. They are happy. And everything equals to higher productivity. And when you are thanked and when you thank them for their efforts, it only shows that politeness. It shows what type of a person you are. It shows what people are perceiving you to be. And that, my friends, goes a long way. Number 5, very, very important, is that we need to learn to respect those shared spaces. Now, why do I say shared spaces? It can be a shared workstation or it can be the cafeteria. Firstly, whenever you are in a shared space, don't speak very loud, whether on the phone, whether you have earpods or you are speaking to each one. Be mindful about your volume because the shared space that you have is not your space. It is like that joint property that each one in the organization owns. And remember, don't be messy over there. Don't leave that workstation untidy. Keep it clean. And lastly, don't eat food at your workstation. It is very, very unprofessional. There are designated areas to eat. That is the place you're supposed to eat. All right. Number 6, we have don't be very strong and opinionated. What happens is it is okay if you are in a conference, in a boardroom meeting where you have to share your opinions on a common project. However, you cannot share your strong opinions on people's personal life. And definitely you want to avoid some topics, that is personal life, finance, religion, politics. Because remember, my friends, everyone has a different mindset. Everyone comes from different backgrounds and everyone has different opinions. Because we all are beautifully unique. We all have a chance to voice our opinion. However, it should not be very strong when we are sharing our opinion. So you need to respect each one and their decisions that they make. Number 7, we have dining etiquette. When we speak about dining etiquette, whether it is a team meet, a client, or you're going out with your boss, you always want to wait for your seniors to be seated at the table first, and then you take your place. Never talk with food in your mouth. All right. and no elbows on the table. You want to keep the table and your hands at bay. And if you have to leave, excuse yourself. Next, we have dress professionally. Now, how you dress speaks volumes about you even before you say a word. However, that is something that creates a very big first impression and it creates that impact. Because always remember, 93% of communication that we have is nonverbal. And that nonverbal communication happens through your body language, your eye contact, the gestures, the smile, the aura that you are throwing. So everything happens in phases. You don't know it because it's happening unconsciously. Yes, but it is happening. You want to come across as someone who is dressed really well, who is sharp and appropriate in their behavior as well as in their attire. You don't want to come across as sloppy or unpresentable. Let me give you a very, very important tip over here of having a classic look. You have your normal trousers that you wear with a crisp shirt. You tuck your shirt in and you wear a beautiful belt with complementing shoes. That is your classic look. And remember, classic look never goes out of style. If you want to elevate it, you wear a blazer on top. That is a top-notch look that you can carry at work. Ninth, we have meeting etiquette. For meetings, you want to be on time, number one. Second, you want to listen to the discussion. And what you need to do is you need to check the agenda beforehand. You need to foreplan. You need to forecast. And then you need to check on what questions you would like to ask in the discussion. Hence, going through the agenda is extremely important. Another tip is carry a pocket diary or a notepad to make notes of the importance in the meeting. You're not going to remember everything that is said, trust me. And it is very rude and unprofessional to take out your phone and start writing notes on your phone for the simple reason is that you don't have your pen and paper handy. You've not come prepared for it. I know it is old school, but that's something that works. That helps you to have that competitive edge, to be that cut above the rest, and that really helps you. And remember, my friends, whenever you are in a meeting or you are dining with your clients, your boss, very important to put your phone on silent. Whether you trust me, believe me or no, your phone is 99% of your distraction. This is something that can make or break the situation. You can keep your phone aside for 20 minutes for that discussion or half an hour, and then you respond. However, if there is something important, you can give your recipient a heads up that I'm heading for a meeting. We'll call back in 40 minutes or 30 minutes. That is respecting their time and your time. And lastly, we have avoid that negativity. What happens is you don't want to gossip, because you don't want to come across as someone who is rude or insensitive, because that is how others will perceive you. That is what they are going to feel. Always remember, how you treat others, my friends, speaks a lot about you. And that is something that you really want to consider, because remember, you want to treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay, and I'll share one of my favorite quote with you is that be kind, for everyone is fighting a harder battle. You want to be kind to everyone because you don't know the underlying problem. They may be fighting a bigger battle than you. This quote shows you are empathetic, shows you are kind, and also shows that you are emotionally intelligent. And that is what we need to leave around where our workplace is concerned. That is what professional etiquette, the essence of professional etiquette, truly is. As we move forward, let me give you some tips to elevate your etiquette beginning today. All right. Firstly, we have that you can start by applying these 4 aspects right away. You don't have to wait for anything or anyone. Firstly, use AI to assist you and not to replace that personal touch. So whenever you type a prompt, get that draft. When you get the draft, proofread it. Once you proofread it, alter the language of the content to how you would use it. That creates that authenticity and that personal touch. Second, listen actively. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. You want to give full attention and you really want to be alert. Why so? Because if you listen, you will understand. And when you understand, you will react better. If you just listen and react, it is going to be an impulsive reaction. That's not going to speak great about you. You need to listen to understand and then react. Number three is to be consistent. Now, etiquette isn't about performance reviews only. It is about creating an impact, and that impact where your first impression counts. So consistency, my friends, over here goes a long way. Those small actions that you learn on daily basis and you incorporate, later on, it becomes a habit. You don't have to go out of the way to say please and thank you to someone. You don't have to go out of the way to wait to enter into that elevator. It's just your awareness and your observation. Lastly, we have ask for feedback. Now, feedback is one topic where everyone says, oh, I don't want to listen to it. However, that is your fastest way to grow, because when people observe, they give you inputs. When they give you inputs and you implement it, it is for your good. So don't take it very personally, but take it as a point for growth and improvement. Because one small shift, my friends, one small shift every week that you implement is going to be a part of your etiquette routine, is going to be a part of that natural leadership style that you will be throwing that vibe across to people. So that's all from me today. Thank you so much, each one of you, for your time and attention. I hope this session has given you that clarity, confidence, as well as practical ideas to lead with professionalism. Because remember, no matter what the platform or the tool, you always need to remember that professional etiquette is your silent ambassador. And in every message, every meeting, and at every moment, that is something that is going to count. So the floor is open for question and answers. You may ask whatever questions you want. Thank you. Can we have questions, please?
Ms. Mohini, you are allowed to talk. You can ask your question.
Thank you so much. Elvina, hi, my name is Mohini. I do not have a question really, but I have a difference in opinion, probably. I hope you can probably answer, cater to that. I'm not sure if I heard it right, but when you talk about etiquette and you say that when we're going out to a hotel or somewhere, or maybe maybe eating somewhere, the leader should sit first and then the subordinates. I think it should be the other way around, because we have come back from the 90s age to a better age where we probably cater to our subordinates in a better way. The treatment is different. Yeah. So I feel that probably the better way of sitting, or maybe better way of taking a seating arrangement, is the leader sits later and the subordinates, he or she gives the privilege for the subordinates to sit first, and then the person sits later as a guardian. I'm not sure. You may differ, but I would like to hear your opinion.
All right. So Mohini, that's a very valid point, because obviously generations have changed, times have changed. However, what I was trying to incorporate and put message across over here is out of personal example, what we have seen, obviously the subordinates, they reach and they arrive earlier than the leadership. Obviously, they have already been seated at the table, right? Most of the time, they are seated in groups. They have their own partners where they sit. However, the interaction, everything tapers down then. Leadership comes and leadership takes their position. Yes, you all are expected to stand or whatever. Again, it depends on organizational culture. It depends on every organization, because everyone is different. However, here the point is that we are respecting each other. So when we are respecting, when you are building your own credibility, it doesn't matter who is sitting first or who is sitting
exactly. So that was my valid point. Ideally, if in case, let's say I, or maybe my leader is going out for a dinner or something, then none of us should sit. Probably we should wait. That is one thing. The second thing is, when we go together, we all go together, because I always feel that irrespective of the designation you're talking about, if we are working together, we are working with each other and not for
Absolutely.
or under anybody.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I see probably that's in my behavior that I may want my subordinates or my team members to sit first, and then I would. Or even if they're sitting, I wouldn't really mind them not getting up and probably acknowledging me.
So
That's
when
how
we
I
speak
am. Yeah.
about professional etiquette, Moini,
Yeah.
I think that comes from within, that
I
if
know.
my boss is in or my manager is in,
They
naturally
will definitely arise, I'm
because that
sure.
is being professional. You
True.
just cannot sit on a chair and continue with your phone. That's not professional at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Phone anyway is never
Yeah.
professional.
So that's
Thanks, Elvina.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Yeah.
Amazing. Any other questions that we have?
I think we have no more questions, Elvina ma'am.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you so much to all the participants who have attended this session. Thank you, Elvina ma'am. This was a very wonderful session and a very informative session. Uh, if any one of you would like to get in touch with us, please do connect with us. My team will send the email ID in the chat box. So any further information that you require, any kind of a booking appointment that you require with Elvina, with me, we are definitely here to help you. So thank you so much once again to all the audience and to Elvina ma'am. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Sheetal. Take care, and everyone have a wonderful evening. Cheers to each one. Good evening. Bye.